Welcome to the 2023 Economic Preparation and Depression channel. I'm your host, Tony. Thank you for joining me on this Sunday edition, December 17, 2023. We're just briefly going to be talking about the ramifications of the interest rates remaining unchanged and going into 2024 as we approach this economic slowdown in 2024. Which is going to be an election year. Please be sure to subscribe to this channel for the latest interpretation of financial data and news as it becomes available. Thank you for your support and your comments. I'll read them all. Appreciate your support throughout the years. Today we have the Dow Jones going up about 15.15% or 56 points yesterday, eclipsing the 37,000 mark. That seems like a great news as everything is reaching a record high. However, layoffs will continue next year, and I also predict that not only will layoffs continue next year, but also these interest rates, even with two to three proposed interest rate cuts by the Federal Reserve next year, is still going to remain high at 4% or above. And inflation is going to remain high at 3.5% or above into 2024. So as you see here, we have, according to CNBC.com, Citigroup employees on the edge of layoffs. Quote, told they can work remotely until the start of the new year. So Citigroup is a big bank, as you know. They told the employees that they can work remotely. A lot of jobs have been working remotely throughout this pandemic and post-pandemic era that we're supposedly in. So the majority of the bank's 240,000 employees applies to the hybrid workers, and they'll be working from home or working remotely from December 18th to the 29th. But however, the layoffs are coming. They've already started giving the paperwork. They're on edge as CEOs Jane Fraser sweeping corporate reorganization, and a lot of businesses, are going to be reorganizing as the budget cuts. And the first things they cut is operating expenses, which normally is going to do with payroll and some capital expenditures, and closing down physical locations of banks. Things of that nature is going to be happening, according to CEOs Jane Fraser. She says that whether jobs will still exist into next year. Citigroup has said that Fraser's review of the third biggest U.S. bank by assets will be complete by the end of March. So already, by the end of this first quarter of 2024, we're getting layoffs still. And most of the media, mainstream media, has not been reporting too much about that. I know you've seen that on TV, a few layoffs and a few retail and hospitality and transportation sector. But now we're getting into banking, the big sectors here. And that's something that's going to be concerning. Here's another one, CNN Business. Biden's top economist bets on soft landing, quote, as the recession fears fade. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as many of you know, we've been talking about the soft or hard landing on many of these financial channels that you listen to on YouTube, and it basically has to do with whether or not the recession is going to be a short-term recession, like back in 2008, 2009, where it was 1 to 2 years in terms of bouncing back and printing up a bunch of money and going into QE, or is it going to be a longer-term recession? We're talking 5 to 10 year type of deal, where it's a great reset type of deal. So according to this, they're saying that it's going to be a soft landing, according to Lyle Briner, director of the National Economic Council in the Eisenhower Executive Office Building. She was on DC. It's 2 months ago. She was saying that, hey, we're looking for a soft landing, even though rates are rising, even though prices hadn't gone down to 2%, inflation hadn't gone down 2%, we still feel like it's going to be a soft landing. But how can there be a soft landing? This is all dependent upon two things here, ladies and gentlemen. If the labor market is hold up, meaning wages keep up with inflation, which they're not going to be able to do, even with inflation at just 3.1%, you and I both know that your raises or cost of living adjustments or raises or bonuses or whatever is not keeping up with the cost of prices of food, gas, rent, mortgage, insurances, house insurances, car insurance has gone up tremendously. These we're not getting a true wage raise, and haven't been getting a true wage raise since 1998 time frame. So, guys, this is really, really concerning, because now we have AI, automation, coming in to take over the financial system. And Janet Yellen, the Financial Stability Oversight Council, according to AlJazeera.com, they're exposing wits here. She's saying that Janet Yellen says she's very concerned about AI or automation taking over the financial system and causing concerns about that. Remember, a lot of the stock market already is automated, with automated trades and commissions and all of these things anyway. Now imagine that to a scale that becomes mainstream, where AI begins taking over jobs. Even though it promises the reducing costs, improving efficiency, and more complex relationships, AI is going to be the downfall, because we still need humans to monitor those AI and to repair those robots and those machines. However, there's not going to be enough jobs existing in the 2024, 2025, 2026 time frame. So this is going to bring a controlled recession, a controlled depression of the economy, as President Joe Biden and his team focus more on this AI stuff that's going to be messing up this economy even further to the ring. So the best thing we can do is to prepare. We can't be prepared for every situation. I see a lot of these channels, they have all these prepper channels and they tell you to prepare, but you need to cover the basics: security, food, water, medicine, and most importantly, have a close relationship with God in terms of, your spirituality, because if you're not there mentally during this time, you're going to see things, just like we saw on 9/11, people jumping out of buildings. Mentally, you have to be prepared more so than all of this physical stuff. Yes, you do need to make provisions, but sometimes you can't be prepared for every situation, and not every person is going to be some kind of lone wolf or have a group community of neighbors or friends that is going to be conducive to their development, okay? So that being said, you need to have some type of provisions and preparations, because this is for a long haul. And most people can feel like this great reset is going to be complete by the year 2030, and that's possible, but it's possible that it can be extended longer than that, because we're dealing with fiat money here in dollars. And dollars, since the U.S. is the largest economy in the world, it takes time for that to unwind and to break down to the level where we have, a new change of system here. So even though we know digital currency and all that is coming, yes, all that may be coming in the CBDC. You might have heard about that in the news, and all these things are coming. It's going to take time for that system to break down and the new system to come in. The transition period is where we come in, and we try to help you. I try to help you get ready to face that in a practical manner, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. So enjoy your weekend. Get out, enjoy yourself. If it's not raining or snowing where you're at, get out and enjoy yourself with your family and friends. And thank God for another day. Thank you for listening to me. I'll talk to you very soon this coming week, where we have more reports coming up as we close the year, try to close this year strong and go into the next year. Take care.